Hello there. Welcome to the new moon in Capricorn. It's a bit of an ironic new moon. You might have seen my YouTube short or my video about that. So I'll just explain it a bit here. Why is it ironic? Well, the new moon is usually about, it's always about planting seeds of what you want to bring to fruition. It's the dark moon. It's sort of like, imagine like you're literally planting and burying a seed. So just like the new moon is dark, the seed is in the dark. And it will have to trust the process, even though you can't see what's happening just yet, but you have to trust that things are happening. And so that's similar for us. We have to plant a seed or make a decision or trust that things are growing under the surface. But the reason I find the new moon energy a bit ironic is because we're going to see Pluto is heavy with this new moon and the sun. And because Pluto's ending its cycle in Capricorn, it's more of a feeling of endings, even though the new moon is beginnings. So if we take all that intensity of the moon and Pluto, which can be very moody, it can be very, withdrawn, intense, can bring us nightmares, can bring us power struggles. We don't really want to activate something new based on an old struggle, especially when this struggle, if you will, or this lesson is closing after 16 years. So we have to really choose how we phrase our new goals, our new seeds. And I would like you to think more about the next chapter, which is Pluto and Aquarius coming up. I'd like you to think more about a new world than about your old issues. I'd like you to think more about who do I see myself being in the world in the future versus sort of treating yourself like a fixer-upper. It's different. So with that in mind, I wanted to announce a couple of things. First, if you watch my channel or you're here for the first time, welcome. I would love it if you'd subscribe and if you'd share the videos. That'd make me super happy. And I also have a couple new events. So you'll see the links in the below where you can join my Intuition Cafe. We've just reached 400 members, which these days doesn't feel like a lot of people, but I'm not here to go viral and have thousands and thousands of people. I'm very happy that 400 people without my solicitation have wanted to join this group. So they're having fun and they want to connect. And we have our first live event. If you're in the Montreal area, you can see the advertisement for it on my on the Facebook group, but it's going to be at Indigo Chapters, which is in the West Island of Montreal near the Fairview Mall. And January 20th, big day, Pluto goes into Aquarius. That's when it starts. Also, the same day, yes, it's on purpose. It's astrological. I do these things on purpose. January 20th, I also have a new group called 100 Days of Tarot. This is for my deep thinkers out there, my academics, my people that want to just be challenged intellectually, philosophically about the tarot. It's not a course, although you'll be learning, but it's not a structure. This card means that, then this card means that the next day. No. No. I can do that, but that's not what this is. This is going to be posting something of interest, some food for thought, something to explore, some little tidbit, just to keep you intrigued and sharing and talking about the tarot. So if you would like to join the 100 Days of Tarot, that's also on my Facebook group. You can join the free one where I will post a few things, but most of the meaty stuff and the discussions are going to take place in the private group. And yes, there is a fee. And there is a small fee for the Intuition Cafe event too, but a small one. So if you'd like to join those, I'd be very happy. Otherwise, if you'd like to click share, follow, subscribe, I'd also be very happy. Without further ado, then, let's get into the chart. It's doing it again where it's not showing me my face on the side. There I am. See if I can do this. Oh, well, guess not. Oh, well, as long as it's recording. Um, Here we go then. Let's take a look at our chart. So look at all the cluster of planets over here now. Completely different from the full moon one, if you recall and if you follow me. The moon was all alone over here in a big 12th house. Everything was on the other side. So I wonder how you felt that full moon. If you felt alone in any way or wanting your space, as I mentioned. Now this, totally different story. Look at all this activity and all on the same side and all close together. And this is all wide open. So here, if you remember, this is the MC or the median coli, imium coli down here. This side of the chart is people relying on other people, needing other people to get things done. And we do have Jupiter, Uranus, and Taurus there in the fourth house. So that would mean sort of getting things done with relation to your family. And if it's not your blood family, it's your chosen family. Or things around the house. There could be some things to tend to around your house. There could be, like with Uranus there and Jupiter, you might be renovating. There could be something that needs to be suddenly fixed. And for that, you know, it's on the side where you do need to call people. Maybe there's someone around to DIY, but most of the time you'd have to have help. Otherwise, we swing over to this side where we've got the ascendant, which is also in Capricorn. So holy moly. Ascendant, Sun, Moon, and Pluto all together. Also Mars. So this is quite the cluster of Capricorn send off here. And the descendant in Cancer. So on this side of the chart, this is the self-reliant side of the chart. This above the horizon is, again, what we're conscious of, what it's easier to be aware of, but it's the south node. It's Venus, maybe, if you're lucky. Mars and Mercury are in the 12th house, not as easy to get in touch with. So we're going to go into that a bit more. And then the main thrust of it is, you know, self-reliance, but also not really super conscious of these energies. So what does this mean? So first, I'll talk a little more about this Sun, Moon, Pluto conjunction. As we mentioned, it's not really feeling so much like a new moon as a end of chapter. Call it a day, finish the story, decide that a long haul is over, get off the Ferris wheel or the merry-go-round of something in your life. Stop going down the rabbit hole that you go down, the overthinking, the similar thoughts, the same old story that you keep rehashing, even though maybe you still don't have an answer, but aren't you sick of it kind of thing. Yeah. Now, what we need to focus on is where the energy is working nicely. And there's a couple of spots. We've got a few, you know, we've got a number of blue lines here of nice aspects. We've got a lot of red aspects too. So there's an intensity with the Sun, Moon, Pluto, especially Mars there too. Oh my Lord. All this Capricorn, you know, this drive to be ambitious, to be productive, to think about, you know, what's coming down the road, preparing for the long haul. You know, yes, authority, structure. And, you know, with this cluster of planets, with Pluto there, it sort of makes you feel like there could be a power play going on. You might be the one enacting the power play. It could be you who decides, no, this is how it's going to be. And you go off and do it. But you could be the recipient of a power play, the moon and Pluto. You know, when I see that, I'm going to usually, if this was somebody's birth chart, I would expect this person to be needing a lot of alone time. They would probably be someone who broods a lot and might have sort of a could have sort of a grumpy or intense deep personality, maybe in a dark side, because Capricorn has like a can have a very dry, witty sense of humor, cynical kind of side to them. I would expect somebody that had a hell of a time growing up with their mother, because this is not nice energy for mother energy, if this is the day you were born, you know. But since it's a day we're just passing through for most of us, unless you have that aspect natally, it suggests a lack of care, a lack of feeling nurtured, a lack of feeling, feeling like people are using emotions to manipulate or go against or play games sometimes with Moon and Pluto. Um, the only positive way that that can play out is like extreme passion, but it would almost be too much, you know? It's like, I'm going to love you and kiss you and keep you forever, and you're mine, and you know, because Capricorn's very possessive. So passion plus possessive plus needing to be in charge. Now Mars is in Capricorn too, but it's in the 12th house. Mars in Capricorn is exalted. It's in its best position because it has some self-control. The self-control, and the Mars is in the 12th house. Well, Mars in the 12th house is usually somebody very restless. They're usually going to have night terrors, and they're going to have bad dreams. They're going to have a hard time sleeping. They might have like, this just restless bunny kind of like feeling all the time. Like they it's going to be like a covert way they go about getting things, because Mars is in the 12th house. They're secretive about the way they go about getting it, even though they're good at it. So this is an extremely strategic kind of covert, not quite spy, but like, yeah, yeah. There's something up. There's something up with that. So what does that tell me? Well, I'm going to be maybe not revealing so much or getting too involved with anything too intense. Gonna, really ask myself about people's intentions before I say yes to something, or perhaps my own. Because all of these planets in Capricorn, especially with this driving Mars, this ambitious Mars, I just have to conquer. I've got to get it done. I've got to conquer this in the 12th house, where it's like you don't even know, you're just compelled. I just get an agenda kind of feeling about that, or a very suppressed, ambitious person is going to do whatever it takes. Could be ruthless, Sometimes we need to be. Like I said, this could be you, or this could be, you could be the recipient of it. And because we're ending off this long chapter of Pluto and Capricorn, wouldn't it be nice to not feed into that energy anymore, and instead call it a day? Say, no, I'm not going, I see through that and I'm not playing. And that would be your new seed to plant, is how do I not get involved in this kind of crap anymore? How do I enact things, go about things in a different way than that? So that would be the more positive use, is to me, is to decide what is going to be done in your life. Now, Mercury is also up here in the 12th house in Sagittarius, which is a little more uplifting, but still Mercury in Sag is, having Mercury in your 12th house would be hard as well. It's hard to express things. again, all of that mental activity goes to the unconscious. So again, you're talking about a lot of restless thoughts, a lot of flashes, a lot of inspirational thoughts with Sagittarius, a lot of opinions, a lot of theories, a lot of ideal situations perhaps popping up in your mind, desire to escape, be free, travel. Um, there's sort of a restlessness about having Mercury and Sag in the 12th house because it usually, in its best element, it's going to be out um, without hiding anything. It's just going to say what it thinks. And it's going to motivate and inspire other people. It's going to be educated. It's going to promote freedom or promote a cause. So if you take, think of somebody who's on a podium rallying people around something inspirational, and now you stick them in a little room by themselves. That's sort of how that energy feels like it's going to play out. So you may feel some frustration in the air from these aspects too. Now Venus is up here in Sag too, and that's the one we're the most conscious of. That's probably the happiest planet in here. And it's got some good aspects. It's also got a nasty one to Neptune, but it's got some good ones to the North Node and to Chiron. So Venus and Sag is where you want your freedom and your expression and your learning and your exploration and your travel. And it's coming up in the 11th house, which is, communities and groups and friends. So this could be a good time to connect with your groups and your friends and your organizations and get out and socialize, join things, explore new places. That's a positive part of this. Venus is still squaring Neptune here. So there's still a feeling in the air of like, stick with who you trust right now and maybe like hold off on brand new ventures and brand new people until the new moon energy passes, is the feeling I'm getting. So Mars here that we mentioned, this driving, ambitious, productive, covert, perhaps in the 12th house, Mars is making a good aspect to Saturn in Pisces. Helps it out for some of you. You can still be getting some things done, connecting to people, maybe not like super, but in a slow, solid way. However, Mars is also, as you see, making an aspect to Neptune, which is not great. So Mars squaring off with Neptune again is usually like self-deception or promises too good to be true, idealizing things and not being quite accurate about the situation. Sometimes outright, subterfuge and hiding, deception is possible with these planets too. And Mercury is also squaring Neptune. So you see this, triple squaring off with Neptune. As I said, we want to be careful of like, you just want to go into new things with some caution until this vibe sort of passes, because as I said, this feels like there's people around or powers higher, greater than us that have an agenda. And you just want to be careful what you jump on board with or who you say yes to or how much you open up to something new under this influence. It won't last forever. Now, yeah, so Saturn is nice with Mars. It's also helpful with Jupiter a bit. So there is, it's not super strong, but Mars does trine Jupiter. That's nice. So, as I said, for some of you, if you're on the down low, you can just, if you're willing to like, how do I describe this? Like, we can't, it's a bit volatile or dangerous to get too passionate or excited right now, or if people are like too excited right now, you have to question, where's this coming? Where's this excitement coming from? You know, it could be genuine, it could be sheer ambition on their part, and you're like, you got to make sure, okay, is this just about you, or is this about all of us? It could be, there could be nothing deceptive at all, or nothing selfish about it at all. It could just be somebody who's just overzealous and not thinking things through and just wants to steamroll, and it's not going to work. So again, it's all saying like, hang back, hang back, hang back. And the nice aspects there with, you know, Mars, Saturn, Jupiter could just allow you to get like, make your progress, but slower. You're excited about new people, new things. Just go slowly. Just offer a little bit of your time, not full throttle. New relationship, you know, don't, oh, this is the one, you know, or start spending all your time. Like, no, just relax. Let it go a little slower. Your projects that you want to work on, that you want to get done all now, well, no, like just relax, you know, then the energy could still work for you to feel like you're productive over the next, we're talking over the next 5 6 days. Yeah. Now the moon is making a couple of squares to the nodes here, the moon and sun. Meh, you know, that's never easy either, because it's sort of saying like what you need is running counter to the karmic directions that we're going in. There's like three cooks in the kitchen then. There's one that's saying, South Node, this is where we've come from. This is what we want to maintain. This is where we feel safe, which is in Libra. Weighing things, issues of justice, seeing if things are fair, having trouble deciding, making things pleasant, considering everybody in the picture. And then North Node on top of Chiron and Aries as the direction we're going in. It's like, no, you have to stop that. You have to think of yourself. You have to heal yourself. Put yourself first in a good way. But you have to think of yourself now. And you have to forge ahead, and you have to take some risks, and you have to stop overthinking it and just be a little more purist about something to go forward. And that's the way you're going to heal something on the, for yourself or for others. And then you've got over here this moon and sun and Capricorn going, well, but I have plans, you know, but I'm going to do that. And, you know, the Libra South Node and the Aries North Node are going, dude, like it's not all about you. So you've got a three-way conflict there, which again means to me, like, if you're feeling this overwhelming, overweening ambition, I'm going to do this year. Oh my God, it's going to be the best year. I'm going to make this happen and I'm going to change. Well, okay, that's nice to have that feeling, but you're going to need to relax with it, because it's not going to quite play out in that old way, because the Capricorn energy is waning now. So you're better off to sort of allow yourself to feel that Aries and Chiron energy, like work with, how do you see yourself? Who do you want to be in the new world? Who do you want to be in this world next? And be willing to slice through, take a look at things in yourself, take stock of yourself and say, if that's who I want to be, that's what I need to do, and this is who I need around me. Capricorn has always got like a bigger master plan that involves other people doing things for them usually. Aries is like, I'm flying solo. So you'll actually heal some things by flying solo. Now, Venus is also supporting that direction of that Chiron and North Node. And Venus and Sag was all about wanting to be expressive and free and include people. The third house here, where we have Chiron and the North Node, that's all about your community and your siblings. All of these happy aspects are about inclusiveness with others instead of the old school, like, this is my idea of my empire, and you will be this part of it, and you will be this part of it, and I've got this master plan. This old Capricorn energy, this top-down kind of thing. So now we're shifting big time this year. With Pluto and Aquarius, we're shifting in a huge way. And we're going to need to be finding who our tribe is and working more as equals with each other. Interdependent, not top down. So the planets right now are encouraging you, like, let yourself be lighter about things, be free, let yourself bust loose and go solo. Let other people be free. No more thinking of a master plan. And then you're going to find the light side of this new moon. The last thing we have here is the moon trine Uranus. Well, honestly, even though it's trine and it makes, that makes the energy easier, it's still a restless energy. It could make you feel like that master plan energy is just really like edgy. For some of you, there are definitely going to be people out there who get maybe a lucky break with that. Uranus might bring in something really random that suddenly propels what you want forward. But for a lot of people, it's going to be a frustration and like an edginess about not getting it. So again, we just want to shift our focus of like, what is success? It's all going to be shifting. Is there anything else we need to address here? I think I've pretty much said it all. We're going to turn to the tarot now. All right. Totally different, isn't it? If you follow me, I'm sure you see by now just how different these charts are. Every 2 weeks, it's a new story. I find it fascinating. And it just shows you how different it is depending on when you're born, what your chart is like, what you come into the world with. All right, so let's take a look at the tarot for everybody. By the way, I'm also going to be putting out more detailed reports of what you can expect in 2024 for your sign. I'm going to be working on that starting tonight, I promise. I'm giving myself until the Chinese New Year starts, but it'll be out there before then. That's February 10th this year. The new moon is on the 6th. To me, that means it's more the Chinese New Year, but they're calling it the 10th. So let's just see what the cards have to say for this new moon as well. All right, so our first card is the Emperor. Well, you don't get more Capricorn than that. So, this is authority, governments, bosses, father, grandfather, kings and queens, CEOs, banks, hydro, something with institutions, something with, where everything is very elite and locked in, and dealing with power. So let's see where this goes. Second card is the Ace of Wands. So again, there's that burst of will, that burst of fire of energy. That could be anything right now. I can't say with those two cards, the Emperor and the Ace of Wands. The Emperor could be very ambitious suddenly, or this could be people rising up. The third card is Six of Wands, the victory card. Well, Hmm. Um, I hate to break it to people who want the revolution, but I don't think it is. Not now. This feels a little more like the powers that be, or the powers that already are, have some ideas to push things forward and will succeed at it. Now, if this is in your own personal life, or someone who's like an emperor, or it's your company that's doing better, or it's your dad that's doing better, or something, it could be something like that, but this feels more like bigger picture to me. So I'm not sure what we're going to see suddenly announced on the horizon for us. hmm And of course, the next card is Two of Discs, which is change. It's Jupiter in Capricorn, yin and yang, the infinity symbol, the snake biting its tail. Everything changes and everything always will. That's basically the wisdom of that card. So preparing ourselves for more changes and adaptations. Then we've got the King of Cups. Well, that's nice. There's people around to help make sense of, to help counteract, to help integrate, to comfort, somebody ethical, somebody who does care is in the mix. And the Five of Cups, a disappointment. Hmm. Well, to me, that suggests that the King of Cups won't be able to fight or stop completely whatever this Emperor energy wants to do. And of course not, right? It's like a David and Goliath kind of scenario. At least there is somebody fighting the Goliath, but it doesn't mean they succeed fully. So there's disappointment. Now we've got the Chariot. So, hmm, ah, that's interesting because the charioteer is frustrated here because they can't get everybody on board that the way they want to. They have to work with people to bring them together to get them to move the chariot. So this actually might mean that whoever is going against big plans, or if it's agendas, I don't know. The chariot means like, okay, you actually have succeeded. You haven't stopped it, but you've put enough of a pressure or a monkey wrench that now they have to rethink their strategy because this isn't going to be easy for them. So this is a yay for the resistance. Seven of Swords, moving on, walking away, futility. Hmm. Hmm. Could see a little bit of almost feels like not like a mutiny on the bounty completely, like a big fight. Sometimes, things are just so like they're presented in such a way that people are just almost in shock, like, oh, well, this isn't workable. This isn't tenable. Forget it. You know, Other times people go, no, 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 and they fight and they fight and they fight and they fight. That's the mutiny on the bounty, right? Wanting to remove somebody, too many cooks in the kitchen, fighting over it, but everyone's invested. This is more like, okay, something is announced or something's brought to our attention. There's a resistance wave. Okay, they don't stop it, but they've put a monkey wrench enough. They've put enough tension to say. Now, some people are going to go, oh no, 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 not dealing with that. I'm walking out. Interesting. And finally, we have the Ace of Cups. Something new will be born out of this. Something new will start. Something is birthed. I like this actually. I like this reading. Gives me a feeling that, okay, the Emperor is not going to win fully anymore. The people that decide, oh, no, this isn't what we're doing, they will succeed to birth something new of their own. I like that. I really like that. Okay, let's take a look for everybody's sign. Goodness. All right, what are we asking? Hmm. Let's ask what I said in the reading. For your sign, who do you want to be in the world, in the new world? Who are you going to be in the new world? How do you shift your identity, your desires, your goals, your values? Who are you in the next world, in the new world? All right. Aries. Ah, you get the victory card again. Six of Wands, Jupiter and Leo. Well, you're switching your game to be the person who expresses themselves, who succeeds, who lets themselves win. You let yourself you let yourself get where you want to go. You don't sabotage, you don't block yourself, you don't put yourself down, even if it's funny, haha. Um, you let yourself succeed. Your new MO is I'm the one that I'm out there expressing myself and I'm free and I'm going to succeed. I love that. So what you're dropping is any kind of old feelings of self-sabotage. Any way you sabotage yourself, it's going to go. Taurus, who are you? You have the Empress. Hmm. Your role in the new world, you're going to nurture a lot of people. People are going to need your stability. They're going to need your sense of groundedness and loyalty and practicality. If they're freaking out or anxious or they can't put sense together with all the changes that are happening, you're going to help by being in some sort of guide or motherly type role or nurturing role, even for the guys. The person that stops for a sec and says, okay, this is easy for me and they're having a hard time. I'm going to stop for a couple seconds and help them out. I'm going to break things down and make them comfortable for people. So that's a nice role to play. Maybe you already do play that role, but I would say it's going to come back in a warmer, nicer way than previously. Because if you embrace it and instead of like maybe resent doing it or feel tired or like, why am I always doing this? But if you really feel needed in that way, I think you're a perfect person for that. So you see yourself as the guide, the teacher, the parent, the mother, the one who calms things. Geminis, what is your new role? You've got the Princess of Wands. Well, as you can see, she's got a tiger around her neck. And so she's trying to fly. And the tiger is sort of looking like he's asleep, but he's coming with her, but he's around her neck. So how could he not be sort of a counterforce dragging her down? So your new role is very likely letting go of that tiger. You know, when we say that, what comes to mind for you? What is the tiger around your neck? What things weigh you down or counteract where you feel you're trying to go? Because you're trying to birth yourself as like a new fiery, spontaneous, go-go active person and not have so much of the the darker side come up so often. So it's about being a more free and spontaneous version of yourself. So I would say ask yourself, what does that tiger represent for you? Cancers. Interesting. Huh. King of Swords couldn't be more opposite to a Cancer if you tried. Wow. Well, this is interesting. So, Cancer, you're new in the new world. Your role is to be much more detached, almost extremely. You'll feel almost uncaring because you're detached. King of Swords is brilliant and quick and lightning speed and just slices through and like a surgeon just pinpoints stuff. So it sort of feels to me like, okay, you've paid so many emotional dues. You need to be focused more on what's rational because you're already intuitive. You've already felt everything a million times. So it's already integrated. Let yourself just sort of be a little more like a ninja like, you know? I see what that is. I don't need to go through all the feelings of it all over again. No, no, I know what that is. That's that. And that's that. And there's also a speediness. Look how he's flying in on his horse. So your life's going to get lighter, lighter and lighter emotionally. You're going to be more detached. You're going to be more rational. You're going to see things a lot faster and quicker and just call it a lot faster and quicker and not worry about that. And there's a lot of movement. You want to be free to move and free to do things. And there's going to be a lot of like flicking off old, no, 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 we're not going to take that on. We're not letting that stick. That's exciting. Okay. Leos, who are you becoming? Mm, the witch, the art card. Mm. You're going to come back to the witchy side of you, which would mean to me that side of you that knows that there is magic and there is timing and there is alchemy and there are things greater than us, and you can stimulate that. It's like percolating this energy. It's exciting. It's like I'm empowered again because I remember the things that I used to already know about the world. And I know that there is magic and there is beauty in timing and there is no fault. There is just when it mixes and it works. I like this. I like this a lot. Virgos, who are you becoming? Three of Swords. Hmm. Well, this is often a card of sorrow and grieving. It doesn't mean you're becoming this. It means you need to do some, though. I would say this means that who you're becoming is you're going to need to let go and detach from a lot of things in order to cope with where the world is going next. You're not going to be able to handle or manage every detail. You're not going to be able to be on top of it all like usual. You're not going to be able to understand it all in detail so that you can get ahead of it and put it in categories and make sure everything is okay. It's going to be too overwhelming. So you're going to need to grieve that you're not going to feel in control or aware of everything that you used to. You're going to need to find a new way to feel happy with your activities, your routines, your role in the world, your how much you can serve, how much you can actually do. You're going to need to make peace with how much you can actually be effective and what scale, what scope, how much you can actually handle taking on and doing well, and allow yourself that limit, that niche, so that you can be good within it and feel secure and be useful within it versus like a global kind of feeling. At first, though, you have to let go of this old image of yourself of what you thought you were capable of, which is hard, but it's okay. If you wanted to save the world and you realize you can't, Well, you can help save your neighborhood. You can help save a couple of pet puppies. That's valuable. It's still valuable. So it's sort of shifting your expectations a lot of yourself. Libras, who are you becoming? I've got the Fool. Very nice. You need a vision. The Fool is the call to action. Nothing happens without a vision with the Fool. Otherwise, you just walk through life blindly and naively. And we know you don't want to do that. So you need to have a strong vision of where you see yourself and what you want before anything will happen. So your task in the new world is to see a new world and to envision what you want to be in it. Pluto in Aquarius is going to start to make a trine with your sign instead of a square. This is beautiful. This is great, okay? Instead of feeling like everything you do is being opposed, you're going to start to feel like everything you're doing is being supported. Wow, all this resistance is gone. Now what do I do? What would I do if there's nothing crapping on it, shutting the door on it, delaying it? What am I going to do? What do I want to do if I'm free to do it, if nothing's stopped blocking me? So this is an exciting time, but you still need to renew your sense of like what you want and what's possible again and have hope again. But this is exciting. Scorpio. And you get the Five of Cups. Who are you becoming? Well, Mars in Scorpio is on this card, and it says disappointment. There's I hate to say it, but to be happy, you're going to need to let go of control. Whatever idea of whatever things you feel you need to control or be on top of or be perfect about in order to feel secure or happy. Because for you, Pluto in Aquarius is going to square you now, just like it did for Cancers, Libras, Aries. You're living the square. It's going to be a while. So it's going to challenge you in lots of ways to grow. And so the first thing that you want to do or to work on primarily, if things are going to start to shift under your feet, as they will for us all, the world doesn't work like it used to. You're going to need to let go, let go, let go, let go, let go. Surrendering what you don't have control over and starting to enjoy things more. The disappointment card tells me like you've run dry from whatever you've been doing and you need desperately some fun and some playfulness and some creativity and something else than whatever you've been breaking your head over. So letting go and having some fun is what I want you to do as part of your new you. All right, Sagittarius. Oh, you get the Emperor card. Okay. Huh. Hmm. You know what? Gives me this feeling like there's a new way we're going to start to see leadership. There's a new way that we want things to be organized and structured, and it's not the old emperor's way. It's going to be more something similar to how you would do it, where there's more freedom built in, or more expansion, or more inclusiveness built in. So I would say You are more the new emperor, and how would you run things different when you get a chance? Wow, that's a powerful message. New values are going to replace the old ones pretty quickly, I feel. Think about where you can take your place in that. Capricorns, the long, long, difficult patch of Pluto is over, my friends. It's over. A lot of suffering is over. Okay. Now you can go forward and be more free. Your card, though, is the Hermit. Okay, well, if you've been hermiting, it's time to come out of the closet. If the Hermit's been part of your identity, to be private, solo, isolate yourself, not share, Pluto has been raking you through the coals for 16 years. I think you've done enough introspection. The light is on his back, it's in his hands. It's time to come back out into the daylight. He's also got this beautiful egg with a snake around it, suggesting creativity and fertility and something just about to be born. And there's a blue sky around that egg, and he's going to come out into the light again. So, of course, you've had a rough ride depending where you are on the Capricorn scale. If you're at the beginning of Capricorn in, late December, you've been there, done that. You've probably integrated the lessons. But if you were a January Capricorn, especially towards the end, then you might still feel like you've been kicked around. So you may need a period of recovery, but this is a time of coming out of your shell again. And think about, who am I if I come out of my shell? But I think you might not know exactly who or exactly what. It's just important to know it's time to come out of the cave. Don't isolate yourself. Aquarius, now Pluto shifts to you. And your card is the Knight of Wands. Now it's time to use that energy of transformation to get in touch with your will and what you want, and to have enormous pull and energy to go forward, to forge something ahead. Look at him. He's charging in with a fiery wand. He's ready for battle. So the best thing I can suggest for you, Aquarius, with the next coming astrological transits is you need to get into the warrior mindset. You might want to read The Art of War. You might want to do martial arts. You might want to make sure that you meditate, or that you give some thought about what it means to be a warrior in a positive sense, meaning like self-discipline, mobility, strength, protecting others, protecting yourself, self-sufficiency. The warrior archetype, in whatever it feels best to you, would be your best bet to handle the changes ahead. And Pisces, who you're becoming. Well, I like this too. You're going to be much more grounded and practical. You're tired of a lot of things. Your Saturn is in your sign and you're feeling tested. You're tired of giving people too much energy, too much empathy. You're tired of giving everybody the benefit of the doubt if they're not reliable. You're becoming more earthy, and you're discerning and testing the waters and making sure people can count on you can count on them before you do. You still have empathy, but you've got some limits with it too. I think this is a very healthy shift for you, Pisces. You're not going to be sort of all permeable and fuzzy and bleed for everybody. You're going to have like edges, and it's like you still are a good person, but you don't just give it all around everywhere. You're discerning with it. So think about going forward what you would like to do differently in your life, maybe who your entourage is, what you're involved in, if it's taking too much for you or not. You know, think about where you need to put up some boundaries. My favorite word, but anyway, we all have to work on them. And I think you're going to be a lot healthier minded and get a lot more done. I think you're going to see some relief in 2024. All right, so if you want to sign up for my events, please do. Please come. I'd love to see you. Click, share, subscribe, and say hello if you want a reading. Message me down below. All right, you take care.